Kick off the summer with dealer volume bonus cash at West County Nissan. Plus, save $12,000 on new Armadas now. Just go to westcountynissan.com to receive a quote in minutes. Click to drive your new Armada home today.
Cardinals coverage on 101sports.com is brought to you by West County Nissan.
Welcome back to this week's Redbird Report. I'm Anthony Stalter alongside Chris Duncan. Chris, the Cardinals don't look good. Game 1 of the Detroit series, they lose. Lance Lynn does not look good, does not look like the same pitcher that we have, basically become accustomed to. What did you see specifically out of Lance Lynn?
Well, we talked about it a lot yesterday. We thought that this was probably going to be Lance Lynn's toughest start all season long because you're going over to the American League. And I think a lot of us know that the National League Central is pretty much the senior circuit.
Right.
And you look at what the Detroit Tigers have in their lineup, especially in the middle of the lineup. Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder, Austin Jackson's very hot right now at the leadoff spot. And you don't have the pitcher batting in the batting order anymore. So all of a sudden, Lance Lynn goes over to the American League against the former MVP and Cy Young winner against a very good offensive club, and he struggled a little bit. I thought he was really searching for a feel of his fastball, and he didn't have the same command that we've seen in the past.
Game 2, Jake Westbrook versus Rick Porcello. From my time in Detroit, I'm well aware of Porcello, former first-round pick, had some issues signing him because his agent proved to be a little bit difficult. Both pitchers are struggling. What do you expect in Game 2?
Both these guys are actually really similar. They're both sinker ball pitchers. They both like throwing a ton of fastballs. Rick Porcello actually throws a little bit harder. His average fastball is 91.8 miles per hour compared to Jake Westbrook, who throws about 90.5 miles per hour. But both of these guys struggle against left-handed hitters. Rick Porcello against left-handed hitters, they're hitting .329 with 5 home runs. So he's got a big challenge. He's going to have a hard time facing guys like Matt Adams, Carlos Beltran, Rafael Furcal, Skip Schumacher's back in the lineup. I think that works to the Cardinals' advantage. Jake Westbrook pulled off his first win in almost 7 starts, his last start against the Chicago White Sox. He went 5 innings where he pitched really good, but then he left 1 pitch up in the zone to Adam Dunn. So I expect
kind of a slugfest.
Not a slugfest. I think there's going to be a lot of runs put up, and I think this game's going to be determined by the bullpen. I think it's going to come down to the bullpen.
Game 3, Kyle Loesch versus the local kid, Jacob Turner. Now, I know you probably don't know much about Turner, but as a hitter, as a former player, what is it like facing a guy that you don't really have a full scouting report on? Do you have to see him a couple times in order to kind of understand what he throws and what he's all about?
Well, Jake Turner actually went to Westminster Christian, which is here in St. Louis, and that's where Mike Matheny's son, Tate Matheny, went to school. And Mike Matheny actually took him under his wing and mentored Turner for quite a bit. So I guarantee you Mike Matheny's going to have a pretty good idea of what this guy throws. And I think he's going to tell the club what this guy features. I think he's had a chance to see him pitch quite a bit when he was in high school. Now I think Jacob Turner's grown a little bit as a pitcher, and it's probably not the same guy that Mike Matheny saw in high school, but Turner's a guy who's got a real explosive fastball. At one time he was throwing 98 miles per hour. I think you'll see closer to 93, 94 in this start. But it's going to be a tough challenge. You're going against Kyle Loesch, who's having a pretty good year. Briefly before we go, let's talk a little bit about the Cardinals' offense. Why is this offense so feast or famine? Well, I think what you're seeing is them go against some pretty tough pitching as of late, and I think you're talking about a lot of injuries in the lineup. We all know about Lance Berkman, what an impact he can have when he's healthy, but that's part of baseball. You have ups and downs all season long, and let's be honest, last night they're facing probably the best pitcher in baseball in my eyes. That's a tough challenge, especially when you're dealing with injuries. Maybe Kansas City, they should have done a better job than they did, but hitting's tough, and you got to deal with the ups and downs, and bottom line is you win with good pitching and good defense.
That's it for your Redbird Report. I'm Anthony Stalter. Chris Duncan will be back to preview the Kansas City Royals series on Friday.